Hello, everybody. It's James again, back with the tolerance break. So today we're talking about the next step after my father died. I, was taking care of all my finances, taking care of his will, taking care of, my sister's finances, and I had some money left over after settling everything. And I invested into some cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not going to say what I invested in because I don't want to influence anybody. I did make some money. I still have a good amount of that crypto coin left. It's not really worth much now, but it's a crypto gaming company. The main game that they were advertising that I got interested in still hasn't been released yet. So I don't know if that will ever make a resurgence, but I've already got my money out of the money that I put in plus a little bit I've gotten out. So it turned out to be a success for me. I know a lot of people have lost a lot of money in cryptocurrency, and I wouldn't recommend um, going into it lightly. You can make some money from it if you know what you're doing and you know how to. It's like a short term thing. It's not really a long term thing. It's kind of exploitative. So just be careful if you're gonna go into cryptocurrency at all. And so after that was kind of like my summer was scouting out cryptocurrency, looking into ups and downs, and NFTs were really popping off. This is when Bored Apes were like ridiculous expensive. Um, so I didn't get into any of that. I kind of did this gaming company route exclusively when it came to cryptocurrency. I still have some Ether. Um, I do think that the big ones, Ethereum and Bitcoin, have staying power. So if you're gonna invest in anything long term, I would suggest one of those. But even with that suggestion, I wouldn't take that lightly. I would do some serious research. After the summer got done, I had more money. I I bought some land in the Upper Peninsula on a state estate sale a state estate no, that's not right, a state land foreclosure sale. So I got like 5 acres in the Upper Peninsula for very cheap, and I went up there sight unseen, or I didn't even go up there. I just bought it sight unseen because of the deal. It's commercial property. I didn't really. I looked on Google Earth. I looked at the map. It looked like kind of like just a big wooded tree area. I went up there with my best friend the following summer because I bought it like right in the end of August, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then it got cold, and Upper Peninsula is much colder than southern Michigan, and even southern Michigan is very cold for me. I've lived here my whole life, and I get cold every winter. So we went up there the following summer. I guess I'll skip ahead, but this is kind of this is only relevant to this video. There, and we pitched a tent. We first of all, I don't really have road access to it. It's we had to go on a road that was built for this trucking company to get to my property. We pitched a tent. We did a walk through. We took some pictures, surveyed the area. It was pretty bad. It looked like the company that owned it, that foreclosed on it, was gonna build a building. They dug out the basement, well, the area for the basement, and then they didn't do anything with it. And then they got filled up with water, and it's like a wetlands now. Um, so it's tick infested. There's so many ticks. We woke up in a tent. It was wet and there was some ticks all over. So we got up. We cleaned ourselves off, and we were going to leave, and we noticed that we got locked. We got locked in. We had to go over some railroad tracks to get to my property, and they closed the gate on the railroad tracks and locked us in. Um, so I had to go up to the front office, get a guy to come and unlock. Told him I would never use the road again. I gave him my number. I took the number of the owner. I tried to give him a call. He never called me back. At least not immediately. He did end up calling me back a couple years later. Last summer, he texted me and offered me a ridiculously low price for that land. And I happen to know they just built a Budweising bottling and distribution building there. So I'm just gonna wait them out. If they want to buy the property from me, they're gonna have to pay a higher price than they offered. They really lowballed me on that. Um, During this time, I was I was still smoking a lot. Still dealing with the grief of my father. Around August, when I bought the property, I was beginning to slow down a little bit. I was still smoking every day, but I was beginning to slow down again because I hadn't been working very much. I quit the pizza delivery job, as I stated in the last video. But so I was just doing odd jobs with my friends, making money here and there. I do. Uh, well, I bought this triplex from my father when I was 18, but I didn't control it. I didn't make any money off of it. I didn't see a dollar. I didn't even deal with the renters while my dad was alive. He sold it to me when I was 18 with the plans of not giving it to me until he passed away, which he never told me about. Which it ended up being better for me in the long run, but I was frustrated throughout the years. It never gave me any say on it, even though I signed over all the money that I got when I was 18 from my mother passing away, that from life insurance from that. So when he passed away, I took ownership of that house. I had to do maintenance to get it reinsured under my name only. So I spent that summer doing a lot of that, working with friends to get a couple dollars here and there on top of my rent money I was getting from rent. And so I had decided I wanted to get another job delivering food, but as I had made it clear in the past videos, I really don't like the tipping system. I think it preys upon the customer, and it shoves the responsibility of the employer to the customer on making it so the drivers or the waitress makes money. So I didn't want to do that, but I like delivering food. I like driving. I like, navigating. I like that type of thing. Maybe it's a habit that I built because I started delivering pizzas when I was 20, and I did it for 7 years. I did it when I moved down to Texas. That was the job I got when I moved down to Texas. And so I looked at this place called Meals on Wheels. It's a delivery service that's funded by the state and the federal to get food to people that are homebound and really old and can't leave the house, can't really make their own food even. That was really nice because they provided the vehicle, they paid for the gas, they paid for the maintenance, they did everything. The pay was just really, you know, it was minimum wage, but I felt good about what I was doing too, because the money was just a supplement. As I said, I had this rental property, and I had inherited some money, so and I had already paid off my car, so I was pretty set up for the most part. So the supplement money was just what I needed, especially because working is important for sanity and self worth and self respect. So I started to quit smoking around September, late September, October. It's hard to remember. That was about 3 years ago, and it took me 6 months to get clean from the marijuana. I I was not smoking for the entire 6 months. I didn't smoke one time. I wasn't. I was around it once or twice, but I didn't inhale it. I wasn't taking a hair test or anything like that. It was just a pee test. It took me 6 months, and I suspect, I suspect that it took longer than normal because I was actively working out a lot and trying to get back into shape a little bit. Um, I was trying to get back in shape because I've always been out of shape. You know, I love pop, I love sugar, I love sweets. So I was taking it very seriously, especially because I was not smoking weed, and I didn't have a job other than my landlord job. So I was working out every single day, quite a bit. Uh, and I looked up some stuff. I mean, THC is stored in fat cells, so I probably had just enough to fail the drug test for that 6 months. Um, but during, well, you know what? We're at 12 minutes. I'll just say that break was another huge step in this tolerance journey. Um, because I had already done the 4 months before, this 6 months was so much easier to do. The hard thing is the first days on a tolerance break. For me, at least, I don't really have physical withdrawals. I get a little bit more cranky, but other than that, I don't really have physical withdrawals. So it only takes me like 5 to 7 days to really be completely over it. And then after that, it's just boredom because life is boring unless you're doing stuff. And um, I don't do a lot of, you know, I do a lot more now than I ever did before. But at the time, I was just working out, playing video games, and gambling here and there when I wasn't doing landlord stuff. Man, this is a bad video. I'm really sorry to anybody that watches this. All over the place once again. So we're gonna stop it there. I'm we'll say I'm about 3.5 months of the 6 month break that I took to get this Meals on Wheels job. Spoiler alert, I did do the 6 months and I got the Meals on Wheels job, but there's another thing that happened about the 3.5 month mark uh, that I want to talk about, and I'm going to do that next video unless someone comments below about a question that they would like me to address. So thank you to anybody that watched. I can't believe you watched. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you next week.